Good evening and welcome to another Monday night interview. Tonight we're chatting to Swansea-based author Stewart Jones, who is recently self-published his own children's book, Paddy Plum and the Magic Pencil. Good evening, Stewart, and thank you for joining us.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Not too bad at all. It's nice to have a author on for a change. We've been doing a lot of selection of different guests. And it's nice to vary things up. So welcome to to the madness that is Swansea Comic and Gaming Convention without an actual convention.
Welcome. Thank you.
I think Adam's going to lead us off with the questions. So
yep. Just first of all, if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself, Ridley.
Okay, yeah. Well, as you say, I'm Stewart Jones. I'm a 32-year-old civil servant, father, husband, obviously son, and yeah, I do enjoy comic books and books in general. And I one day woke up and thought, I wonder if I can write my own book. And this is the best I could do.
I was going to go, could you?
Excellent. So, for those of our audience who haven't bothered to read the bios and things that we put up, I'll just pop a link in the chat now for your book on Amazon so they can go away and buy it if once they've had a chat they like the idea of it. But would you like to give the audience a quick précis of the plot?
Yeah, so, well, the book is called Paddy Plum and the Magic Pencil because it's a children's picture book for ages 4 to 6, and it's about a little boy called Paddy who has a magic pencil. And yeah, spoilers. And he everything he draws sort of comes to life, but then something happens in the story which potentially changes things for him, and he has to figure out how he can overcome this obstacle that he faces.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, you've done a number of different books, self-published books. What drove you to write the children's book? Was it being a dad, or was it something that kind of just you needed to get down?
Well, the weird thing is this is the first ever book I've ever done. But yeah, I think part of it was from being a dad, and I think you guys parents at all?
I am, yeah. So I've got two, both in the target age range for the book as it happens. So
oh, perfect.
My daughter's 4.
Mine's a little older.
Okay, well, my I keep all my son's children's books downstairs, and I was taking him up to bed one night, and he wanted a story, and I couldn't be bothered to go back downstairs. So, where it's you just make something up in it.
Yep.
So I just made, and then what happened? That's what he kept saying. So I rounded it off, and then the next morning I was like, I wonder if I could actually take this. And then I started writing stuff down and editing it and stuff like that. So really, it developed from laziness because I couldn't be bothered to go back downstairs.
It's good reasons anyway.
That is cool, though. I mean, I guess your own kids especially are. You want to please them and you want to make up worlds for them. So I guess it's just that, right? I mean, you can go anywhere with this. So I guess you could follow on with more stories.
Yeah.
But that's was it the story that you made up? Was that the one you made up for him as well? Then.
Yeah, more or less. I think the original idea was, and I didn't do this on the spot because I'm not Eminem, but the original idea was going to be sort of effectively a poem that was going to rhyme and stuff like that. And I had it like that for a while, but then I found it quite restrictive, and I thought, well, if I want to take this further, it's not quite long enough to be a book. And I don't know, maybe Eminem could have used it in a verse or something, I don't know. So it wasn't really going to go anywhere as it was.
Palms are sweaty, mom's spaghetti.
Yeah. Yes, it's been done. So I think with kids as well is that they're very open to ideas, no matter how crazy it is. So to them, it sounds great. I mean, if it was me, I'd have a lot of questions about plot holes and character development and foreshadowing. Where is it? There's nothing. But kids are. Yes, well, kids are very accepting. So I think my son sort of inspired me to sort of look at it more from sort of his perspective, and I like to think I've kind of got a bit of a good imagination. to see if I can take it further. So
We think so.
What was the sort of creative duration? Sort of how long from your first storytelling did it take you to get to the form that you were happy with? And
well, quite a while actually, because I originally wrote it about a year before COVID. But I went on the back burner for a little bit because I realized that I can't draw. So I was like, oh, well, that's that. So I left it for ages, and I was lucky to find a friend that knew a friend that was an illustrator. But even then, when he told me, I was like, okay. And you know, like when somebody like recommends like a film for you to watch on Netflix, you sort of go, oh yeah, I will, but you don't.
Yeah,
it was
all the time.
it was a similar sort of thing with that, where I was like, oh yeah, I'll have to get in touch with them, and I didn't for ages. And then one day I thought, no, okay, let's do it. So I think, when was it? What are we in June? So it was back in December of last year. I messaged my illustrator, and we got working on it then in the January. I was still editing it as well at that point. And then the book then was done and dusted by mid-April, and it was done.
Awesome.
But it was quite a long process from start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry.
go on.
we're fighting over who gets to ask the question. I was going to ask, sort of, how did you end up going down the self-publishing route then? And was that a really steep learning curve to sort of work all that out as well?
Oh yeah, that was a minefield, because didn't know where to start. So I mean, I just did what anybody did. I just Googled it to see what would come up. A lot of stuff came up about like publishers and stuff like that, and I ended up I won't like name the publisher, but I ended up speaking to somebody in a publishing house, and they gave me sort of a quote on like what it would entail, and they told me that they would take care of editing, illustrating, and all that, and they wanted like $1,000, which is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I said, I'll get back to you. And I did some more research, and what I realized then was they were like a vanity, I think it's called Vanity Publishing or Vanity House.
Yeah.
Either way, they're sort of like a middleman where they take a lot of money up front, and it would have meant like less creative control for me, which I sort of thought, that's not really good for me, because I want my story to be my story. And I had a rough idea of what I wanted the characters to look like in my head. So that's when I decided there's got to be a cheaper way. And so I ended up with an illustrator, and in the end, I don't know if you guys know, but Amazon do a self-publishing scheme called Kindle Direct Publishing.
Right, no,
so
I hadn't heard that.
No. So it's basically, the idea is that it's free to do, but you only get up to 70% of royalties. So that's their sort of like little catch. But for me, it was the most cost-effective way of doing it. And like I said, the only thing I had to pay out in the end was the price of my illustrator's services. So.
Yeah. Do you see it going to a print edition as well in the future? Or is it?
What was that?
Someone's Alexa getting involved.
Not me.
There. Not me.
That was wow. I didn't know that was there.
It's because you've said Amazon so many times in the last couple of sentences.
Could be that.
So do you see a print edition sort of in the pipelines, or is it Kindle only at the moment, or how?
Well, it is available on paperback
cool.
and Kindle as well, which I was quite surprised at.
Noticed. Yeah. Is it sort of almost print on demand? Is it?
It's print on demand, yeah.
So we've had a couple of role playing authors, because with my other hat on, I run a gaming shop in the centre of town, and we've had a couple of role play authors do the same sort of print on demand, but for a service called Drive Through RPG, which is obviously not relevant to yourself. But so print on demand seems to be quite a good way to go at the moment.
It is. I was scared as well that I didn't want to be in a position where I'd have 100 books of Paddy Plum in my house.
Yeah.
And then I can't shift them, because when I first did this, I didn't really know if it was going to do that well or not. So I mean, I didn't want to be stuck there with 100 books as a monument to my failure. So it's like, it's not what
Buried
we
with
want.
them.
Yeah, buried.
And the print on demand module sort of limits your outlay as well, doesn't it? So you've paid the cost of the illustrator and the sort of the royalties through Amazon, but you're not dropping a chunk of cash on a print run that you don't know yet. But obviously, if you get a successful sort of reception over the next however long for this one, that'll give you the confidence to do a next one straight into print, perhaps.
It's strange. I've been writing with Ricky, our other organizer, and we looked into self-publishing through the comics group that we were in, and privately as well. And it's strange how in the 12 years or so that we've been doing, we've been writing, it's gone from the traditional way of publishing stuff to now feasible to self-publish and promote yourself and actually make some money from it, not have to struggle, and just wing it for a couple of years. And so I think it's a promising avenue now. It's not just this little narrow line. And I think hopefully more people will explore that route. I'm guessing you got other ones in the works now. Maybe has this given you inspiration to do more things?
Oh, definitely. And the thing is, I've got to hold myself back because, like my wife's told me, she's like, Stu, calm down. You just see how this book does first. And the thing is, that's the hard part, is trying to get that balance between, like this book is out now and it's great, and to get my own physical book in my hands, it's like a trophy.
Yeah.
Which I never got at school. So like,
because of the sport thing.
Yeah, exactly, the sport thing. So like, to have my own physical book is amazing, and you want to write the next one, you want to do the next one, but at the same time, I feel like I've got to try and build like a decent fan base so that I'll actually have people who might come back for the second book. And that, I think it's trying to find that balance between establishing like a decent fan base and then just going on to write the next one.
Yeah.
So you're already online, so you've got that thing. You got people that can give you reviews just any time of the day, which is great. And hopefully that'll that should give you a lot of what you need at the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe the wife will check a few Amazon reviews and go, yeah, go on then, write the other one.
I got a solid 5, so I mean, it's 5 reviews. But I've had people do reviews for just through like email and stuff like that, and there's like writers groups on Facebook, and a lot of them from America, which is quite strange. So like originally, they were saying like, oh, email us your book, and I'm like, you're in Chicago, I'm in Wales. Can I just send you like a Dropbox? I could send you a PDF. So that's the other thing as well, is having to do that. I've had somebody email me where they've seen the PDF file, but they want the actual physical book because they got like a YouTube channel and they want to show it on YouTube.
Yep.
So I have to weigh up now if it's worth my time and money to do that.
Yeah. I guess looking at sort of how many people are watching, following, and what you think the return on that will be. But yeah, no, it's exciting time. So, my brain's just gone. I had a question.
Well, I was just going to ask, what's obviously writing this? Then, I mean, we're not holding you to this. We're not asking you to be the font of knowledge. But in your opinion, I guess obviously you've done your research. What do you think makes a good children's book? What went into your book to make you proud of it, I guess?
Well, I think the important part is obviously to be able to like engage with the kids. Mm-hmm. And kids have got to look at your book and enjoy it. I know at the moment, like a lot of children's books, you see a lot of them are like very heavy on like the morals and giving like a message, whether it's like, don't lie or, try your best or stuff like that. But with the book that I wrote, I tried to go for something a bit more specific. So this book, like in my opinion, it could be different for everybody, I don't know. But like when I wrote it, the idea when I finished it was that it was about somebody who lost belief in themselves. And needed that sort of nudge, maybe from like a family member or friend, to help them regain their sort of self-confidence. So it's really about sort of, believing in yourself. I think for me is the message of the book. It might not be for others, but I think
it's a good message to give kids.
Yes,
important for them to.
I mean, that's what we do. That's why we write storybooks and comic books and things like that. It's about delivering those messages in little understandable bite-sized chunks, And the more books you do, the more messages you can deliver.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I mean, I like books, children's books with a touch of the macabre, or the touch of not the adult. I don't mean anything smutty or anything questionable, but always that little, a grown-up message, but always that bit of reality sometimes.
Yeah.
But I hate in children's books when the magic goes away, or in anything, when it's like, now it's time to put away the toys. Why, it's if you can deliver the morals, then you don't need to tell kids to grow up. They're going to grow up anyway,
Yeah,
but,
I agree. Yeah.
So
my questions come back to me. Do you think future projects that you're going to have are going to revisit Paddy Plum as a character, or are you sort of not looking to series him, and are you looking to sort of introduce other characters and themes, do you think?
Well, I kind of like this character, so
we're asking you to give away the secrets
now. Yeah, I'd like to go back to this specific character because I think there's definitely more of a story there, and I think it's difficult because obviously it's focused on this one character, so in a way it's kind of restrictive, but at the same time, because of the the context of the story, which is this limitless imagination and this magic pencil, in a way possibilities are kind of endless. But this is where I have to like reel it in, because otherwise he'll end up like time traveling to see his clone or something really really over the top. So it's about trying to sort of appreciate what I've got and try and like get a story that works within his universe, within the Plumverse.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it now. You said it
now. It's now officially a thing.
Yes.
Up there with the MCU and
yeah.
DCU. I'm not sure so much. It's going to be a thing now. What have you got anything solid then? I know that you've been told not to touch. Go further with it. But have you got any ideas that you're working on that you want to share with maybe hints about?
Oh, I know my wife's watching this as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. He's not giving up the day job yet.
Oh God. No. No, I think nothing solid. I think I find that like with ideas for myself that often, I don't know if you guys get this, like when you write and stuff, is that like often I'll have an idea and I think, oh, this will work, and then the more I put into it, the more I'm like, nah, and then I just totally scrap it, and it's all wasted time and wasted effort. I do have like little ideas here and there, but I'm too afraid to explore them now in case I end up diluting them to the point where they just don't work. Because I find that like I just sort of I'll have a basic idea and then I'll just keep adding to it, and then it ends up being. It's like we watched like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
What's the one where they watch all the TV stuff? Interdimensional Cable.
Yeah.
When it's all like it was like two brothers, a Mexican armada, and it's like all this stuff that just gets piled in.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like sometimes when I try to write this stuff.
I know that's like we've me and Ricky have written with comics. We've written things before, and you're absolutely sold on an idea. I mean, we're to the point where we're typing things up. We're giving dialogue and we're giving panel instructions, and you get to the end of the page and you go, "That was pointless." I always say, me and Ricky, when we write, when we talk about things, we usually argue in the same direction. We're not arguing against each other. We're arguing the point.
Okay.
Almost like a sounding board, a very loud sounding board. Sometimes we're in a pub, and sometimes you just get that. The idea is just brilliant as a construct, and then when you actually start picking it apart, you go, it doesn't actually work. You just delete the whole page. But that's the beauty of what you're doing, is you get to work on it as much as you need to before it's ready.
Yeah.
Have you got the illustrator on board for the sequel then?
the sequel.
The sequel. The whatever happens. Because as you were saying just before we came on, the illustrator turned out to be a friend of a friend, and so obviously it's handy to have people in the know who sort of you can call upon. So have you worded him that more might be coming his way?
Yes. Well, originally, when we were first like emailing each other, it was a little bit of hassle like on my end because I hadn't like prepared properly before contacting him. So at first I kind of thought like, I don't think he's going to come back for another one after this slide. But I won't hold him to his word. But I think he said like if he's available, then he will that he will contribute. And I hope he does because his work is brilliant. I've actually got a proof copy of the book here. I don't know if you guys can see this or that.
Just 2 seconds, we'll give you a zoom in so the audience can see you better now.
Right, now
Look at that.
it does say not for resale on the front, but it's fine because I'm not going to sell it. But like the illustrations in this, I don't know if it might be...
I'm bringing my head closer like I can see it.
But this sort of like, look, you know, he brought this stuff to life for me, and I know this is my book, but I do have a favorite picture in yours because of the way he draws things. This here, right?
Pizza rocket.
Everyone loves a pizza rocket, right? And you know, but the way he sort of managed to bring this to life, like in my head, I had a rough idea what Paddy looked like, and there's some sketches. So these are the actual sketches that he did, where we developed the character.
That's actually really cool. You don't normally see that.
No.
That's a nice inclusion.
Yeah, you get a little extra in there.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. In total, I've got about like 100 images, but I didn't want to put too much into a book, just in case it like falls and crushes children or something.
My son's been reading a lot of things like, and he's quite enjoying some of the sort of the comic-y chapter books that come with sort of almost how to draw the character bits at the end of them as well. So sort of maybe an idea for your next one, because kids really like engaging with that sort of taking the thing they've seen and
and it's nice for them as well to understand that, you know, that it is possible.
Yeah, I just realized we're talking about children's books. I think I have like one of my first children's books I gave to my daughter when she was really small. I'll find it now. It's here somewhere. It's a cat book. It's just a photographic little photo book about cats. You just got the back of my head then. It's up there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think
we've got a question from the stream. Kunchi's asking who's the book illustrated by. So credits for the illustrator. What's the
illustrator is Toby Duckfield, and he's on Instagram as well. And you know what? I don't actually know what he looks like.
No,
I've never seen his face.
the joy.
I think he's a cartoon. Every time we've seen him, he's a cartoon.
He's a cartoon.
Yeah.
I
told me about that.
So I don't know what he looks like.
It's the Swansea small world syndrome as well, because we've sort of had dealings with Toby before with him sort of applying for previous tables, and he's also, I believe, illustrated a board game that was published a few years back by some chaps up Ammanford way. So he's a good lad, is Toby.
6 degrees of Toby Duckfield.
I will say as well, what I noticed about him, I know he's the first illustrator I worked with, is that his dedication is amazing, and he's got limitless patience. Like if I was anybody else, I'd be like, Stu, just believe it, and they probably would have just gone. But he stuck with it all the way. He was even throwing out Star Wars quotes because we had some trouble with uploading, and we got to a point where we were trying to sort out the measurements and stuff. And like when we finally got it right, he actually he actually wrote in an email, "Let's blow this thing and go home."
Nice.
I was like, yes.
I was just responding to the beard. Then we got a comment saying from Kelzo, "I've got a majestic beard. It's a lazy beard. And the weight of it has pulled it down. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly's a workmate of mine. I also work in the civil service, just like you. I can't really say where. It's probably just as boring as yours.
Yes.
But Kelly keeps me sane in the conversations of video gaming.
Brilliant.
So you said about you read comic books then. So just slightly off topic. What are you reading at the moment?
I'm on subscription with Swansea Comics for Detective Comics at the moment.
Good.
I'm only on one subscription for now because
Fine. It's expensive.
It is, and like, especially because of like lockdown stuff as well. The books get posted out to you, and sometimes if there's like a backlog because of deliveries and stuff like that, sometimes you end up with like 5 or 6 books. So that's why, like years ago, I was reading Superior Spider-Man, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know why Dan Slott got the hate he did. Personally, I liked it.
It was. I know I like Dan Slott. But I was miffed about Superior. Not the story, the reason why he got to where he got to.
Okay, because I remember when it was coming out. I think like I'd seen like a YouTube video, and they were saying like what they were going to be doing, like basically doing a Freaky Friday with Doc Ock and Peter Parker, and I was like, oh, let's see how that goes then. And I enjoyed the run, but the trouble is because of subscription, after that run finished, obviously they reboot Amazing like again. So I had that going, and then they went, oh, Edge of the Spider-Verse is also. So I had like almost literally like a web of books myself.
Yeah, we have that thing. For people who don't know, Superior Spider-Man, spoiler, but it's been out for years now. Doc Ock swaps bodies with Peter Parker just as Doc Ock's body apparently dies. And so we have Doc Ock in Peter Parker's body being Superior, knows who Peter Parker is, he knows he's Spider-Man. It was a very interesting run. And a lot of, as you just mentioned, then a lot of fans were not happy. I think a lot of fans, well, not a lot of fans, a margin of comic book readers don't like Dan Slott for no reason in particular. I'm enjoying his Fantastic Four stuff.
I did like I like the moment in the book where Doc Ock realizes that Peter doesn't have like a doctorate, and he's like, and he's like, got to sort this out. And I just love that he's just sort of perfected his life in so many ways. And I also like as well the because like Batman is like my favorite hero, even though like they keep shooting out loads of films with him right now, but it kind of dilutes the character a little bit. But whatever. But there's a moment in Superior Spider-Man where they give Spider-Man like a Spidey signal.
Yes.
And he even addresses it by saying like, yeah, now all the bad guys know where to find me.
Yep.
So he takes it down. So that was quite funny that they did that.
I think it was quite a clever evolution as well, because after that, then when Peter Parker, as he's going to, it's usually whenever a movie comes out, they usually put the hero back in the suit. They did with the Captain America and Batman as well a few times. But it was quite a clever plot device in a way, the way putting Peter Parker back in Peter Parker's body. They did a great thing where they ran his thesis, I think, or his thing that made him the doctor, through a I forget what the system is, to check for plagiarism, and they found out that it was written by Doc Ock, because of course Doc Ock was in his body, which meant that he loses his doctorate, which is just, and his business as well, which is just a fantastic bit of real world minefielding, So I'm on for all sorts of stuff at the moment. It's embarrassing. If I like board games at the moment, and unfortunately because we're mostly locked down, I've not been buying as much from Simon, but there are quite a few I want to add to the collection. I did recently pick up Escape the Dark Sector, which is really fun. I think we need to play that at some point.
Yes.
So it's really good. It's kind of like the fighting fantasy books. So right up my street.
So moving on, a question we always ask our guests on our Monday night sessions is some form of versus question. And Adam and I were chatting about this before we came on. Normally it's sort of more comics related because quite a lot of our guests tend to be comic artists. But as an author then, who would win in a fight between Harry Potter and Paddy Plum?
Guys, come on. Come on.
But we liked it. We like
proper, brass tacks. So you gotta really boil it down.
Just went straight in there. Well, guys, you got me. I'm gonna have to write my own thesis on this. Well, okay, so obviously Harry Potter's got his wand and his. Isn't he a Horcrux himself?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, was. depends where you're deciding to go with the story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you know? I just realized I put a little unintentional flaw in my character. Is that he has a magic pencil, but it's not one of those ones that's got an eraser on the top, so you can't like rub him out because you could redraw him. Yeah, Paddy Plum will draw Voldemort, and then Voldemort can sort out Harry.
Paddy Plum becomes the bad guy.
Yes. Yes.
He's got a hidden depths and dark side. We like it.
That's a plot twist. I was thinking as a possible future story. You don't have to go with this. Just throwing it out there. You know, what if I don't know, Paddy decides that he doesn't like doing his chores, so he creates a bunch of doppelgangers, but one of them just becomes very egocentric. I was going to say then egotistical and becomes maybe leads his army of clones to dominate the world while Paddy's off the moon in his pizza rocket again.
Let me get a pen. Hang on. That was perfect. We'll do that. Yeah, it could happen. It could definitely happen. Yeah, maybe the egotistical Paddy sort of takes over from the real one. And
have you seen the episode of SpongeBob?
There.
Yeah, have you ever seen the episode of SpongeBob where he draws Doodle Bob?
Doodle Bob, yes, I've seen that. That's amazing.
Actually, that's not. I do like the idea when you said about having the no eraser though. That's I know you possibly subconsciously thought of it. It's a brilliant little idea though, because it means that whatever he draws he can't throw away.
No regrets.
So yeah, but also it means that he has to decide. He has to be very careful about what he draws.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the other questions we also like to ask is, sort of, as a writer now, what sort of franchise or IP would you like to get your teeth into if sort of the winds go right and publishers start coming to you with a "we love your stuff, can you do a kids version of this"? What's your dream gig?
Gosh.
We ask the big questions here.
Do you think you're comfortable?
Do you know what? Oh, the controversy I'm going to cause when I say this. Well, I'd rewrite Star Wars Episode 9 to start with. I'd fix that.
No issues there whatsoever.
It's a weird one because I'm so biased because I love like Star Wars and superhero films and stuff like that. But I've sort of started writing in a field that almost doesn't apply to me because I'm not between 4 and 6.
We're all between 4 and 6 at some point. There's some genetic makeup.
Yes,
still.
I mean, I know like everybody has the thing with Disney, like they say how they go in heavy on PC. But I tell you what, if that mouse came knocking on my door and asked me to, I'd do it. I would. I'd go Disney.
Cool.
You win then, don't you?
Yeah.
It's where the bucks are. It's where the movie gets made.
I got Disney Plus the other day. The first film I watched was Inside Out.
Perfect. It's a great
film.
film.
And then after that, when my daughter came over, I showed her Gargoyles because you can't not watch Gargoyles.
Is that the 90 series, right?
Oh yeah. They've got all 4 seasons.
Do you know, I vaguely remember watching as a child. I remember it was a thing, but that's all I remember.
Yeah.
So
do you know, just completely off topic, do you know why that was cancelled? And a lot of shows were cancelled around then because of the trial of O.J. Simpson. I'll leave that there. I'm not joking. It's crazy thing what TV can do,
Yeah.
But no, I like that. And also I've just discovered Dinosaurs, the animatronic live action TV show is on there. So again, that's something my daughter needs to watch.
Oh, brilliant.
Reasons.
Yeah.
Adam reliving his youth.
Yes. Living vicariously through my daughter. Yes. She's 17 and she likes post-punk and goth and things like that. But I'm like, let's watch kids' cartoons.
Yeah, let's do this.
She's like, cool, okay. Anything to keep you happy.
Cool. I'm just thinking of if we've got any other questions out on our little magic list.
What else is for you then at the moment? What's next for you? Are you obviously you're interested in coming to our show. But have you got anything now lined up to promote this book?
Well, yes and no. That's a rubbish answer. Yes and no. Who says that? No, I think not anything like specifically, but my goal at the moment is to try and just promote myself as much as possible, like with reviews and.
Yeah.
I recently translated the book into Welsh, so that's going to be going.
Or...
Yes, with help from Google. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, because I do speak Welsh, but you know when you don't speak it in so long, you forget like basic words.
I haven't spoken it since I was 2, 3, 4. I don't know.
I'm handicapped by being English and having a terrible Portugal accent. So when my kids both go to Welsh school, but whenever I attempt to speak Welsh, they tell me, "Daddy, you're speaking the wrong Welsh."
The wrong Welsh.
Which is harsh but fair.
They just hang their head in shame. That's cool though. I mean, again, books like that will. I mean, I think we should be, without trying to fly the Welsh flag too much or the flag too much. I think there should always be the option. There should always be bilingual options. So I think that's cool though.
And it's good. It's good to get it to a sort of another segment of the audience as well, because you've then got maybe sort of ties in with educational markets, because schools are always sort of looking for more modern and sort of good stuff to get the kids interested in reading up. So
you could be that one person. I mean, we had that conversation with Ian Livingston. I started reading the fighting fantasy books in my primary school, and if it wasn't for him, I possibly might have gone down a different route.
Wow.
So you could be that person. That Welsh book, the Welsh version of your book, or the English version of your book could be getting kids thinking about magical pencils and again pizza rocket chips.
Well, do you know, it's nice because I've had people who've like reviewed my work recently. Most of them are parents, and I get the feedback like from the kids as well, which is nice. And the kids are great because they say stuff like, like in the book, like the first how Paddy is described in the book is, it says Paddy Plum was a peculiar little boy. And there was a lady that was telling me that her 6-year-old had never seen the word peculiar before. So he sort of got to like learn a new word, and he was asking her what it meant and then how you could use that in a sentence, like in real life. So, I mean, that was nice because I kind of felt like...
Yeah, you're broadening horizons.
Yeah. And so that was great. Like, and like some kids say like, oh, you like, if like their parents have asked them like, oh, if you had a magic pencil, what would you do? And like some kids have said like, oh, I'd make my hair longer, or... like some.
So would
I I just draw myself a beard because I can't grow facial hair.
This isn't beard. This is just my hair migrating.
Oh, it's just moved.
I got insulted by a Dalek once for this. I had a much bigger beard once. We were in Cardiff at a convention promoting our comic, and I was going to a comic book artist to get a free sketch, a brilliant free sketch, John Watson. And there were a bunch of kids surrounding a Dalek, and I didn't hear what the Dalek said, but all these kids started laughing at me, and they wouldn't get out of my way. And I was like, ha. And it wasn't until after, it sinks in afterwards. I was just about halfway to John. I realized the Dalek had said, "Why is that man's head on upside down?" I was doing that as well. So.
Which is an awesome burn.
Oh, yeah, totally. But yeah.
Right, I'm just about to put up the links to your socials, but would you like to tell the viewers, Stuart, where they can find you and more information about what you're doing?
Yeah, well, the book is available on Amazon. I've also got a Facebook page, which is Paddy Plum Books. And on there, I try to put updates for the stuff that goes on with like promotions and reviews. I sometimes do giveaways and offers as well. I've got a giveaway at the moment where you could win yourself a free copy of Paddy Plum and the Magic Pencil. There's rules on there to follow. It just involves liking, commenting with the word done, and I'll assign you a number. And then if you share the post as well, you'll be in with a chance of winning a copy.
Hear that, viewers? Off you go.
Do it.
Well, it has been lovely chatting to you this evening, Stuart, and it's
thank you.
It's good to sort of be chatting to someone at the start of their career rather than sort of an old hand as well, because it's nice to think that in a couple of years' time we'll be seeing you at shows and sort of, have however many books under your belt with them. We were there at the start.
Give him that idea.
Yeah. You're going to see me run away with that idea now. It's going to be brilliant.
So, yes, thank you for watching this evening. We've been chatting to Stewart Jones. We will be back with our normal hobby stream on Wednesday evening. And no doubt Ricky will be playing some computer games on Saturday, as will Kieran and Chris on Sunday. Next week, we should have another guest interview lined up for you. So watch our Facebook and Twitter, and we will keep you updated. Thanks for watching.